What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 258, and we start today's episode off with a game against Spurs here in the FA Cup. And as you can see by my lineup as well, I went with a very strong lineup, and you're probably sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, when you play in the cup competitions, FA Cup and Capital One Cup, you usually rest pretty much everyone. What's the deal? Well, we're taking on Spurs, and Spurs are one of the strongest squads in the world. Why? Because we made them one of the strongest squads in the world when we went there, and obviously AVB's now back at White Hart Lane, so he's inherited the squad. We basically left them, and yeah, we take on Spurs, and the reality is I really want to win the treble this year, and of course the FA Cup is included in that, and of course, you know, this is one of the strongest squads in the world, definitely, if not in the world, then definitely in the league. And you know, I feel like we need to play our strongest squad. This is like Goliath against Goliath at the end of the day. This is like a massive giant against another massive giant, and that's the reality. You know, both of these two squads are squads we've managed before, and now of course we're back at the Den. We started here, and you know, I've said this many times before, and you guys must get sick of it, but I absolutely love playing against your former clubs, because it just shows you how well you've done when you know they're still a real dominant force, like Spurs clearly are. And we do take them on here at the Den, and that is why I did decide to play basically all of my first team players, because it is, you know, essentially Goliath versus Goliath. And despite us having the early chances, unfortunately it was our former club getting the opening goal of the game through Christian Eriksen, a guy who I signed on a pre-contract. You guys actually voted for me to sign him on a pre-contract back when I was manager of Spurs, and well, he scores against me here, and it's a brilliant free kick. And Eriksen is an absolute beast on career mode. He really is, definitely worth picking up if you're someone who likes to play with attacking mids who are really creative. And Eriksen's got great free kick stats as well, and that's a brilliant goal. I mean, maybe, just maybe, I jumped a little bit too early with the wall, but it's a fantastic free kick by the Danish playmaker. It is a wonderful goal by Eriksen, and unfortunately we are 1-0 down, and that was how the first half would finish. So not the first half we wanted here at the Den in a massive battle, but directly from kickoff in the second half we almost equalised. Lovely ball over the top, but unfortunately Oscar Polo's shot was well saved by Liali and turned away by Spurs. But in the 71st minute it was still 1-0 to the away side, and I just couldn't seem to find a breakthrough. I mean, their defence was so good, I couldn't even get into the box on a regular basis. But we had a chance here from this free kick. Unfortunately, a header by, I think it was Bartley, was well saved by Liali. And from the following corner, Carrasco crosses the ball in, and Matthew Wilkinson getting a rare start. His header also goes over the bar, this time not with the help by Liali, it just goes over the bar straight away. And it is still 1-0, but you know, it took us a long time to really get going in this game. Once Spurs scored, they sort of knocked the stuffing out of us, but it took us a long time in the second half before we eventually started looking really threatening. But we did from like the 70th minute onwards, and he see Liali, again our former goalkeeper, making another really good save there, this time to deny our captain Brian Carrasco and former Spurs player Carrasco, and he crosses in the corner as well towards the far post, and again it's Wilkinson winning the header, rising high but not keeping the header down, and it goes over again. So still Spurs were leading this game with 10 minutes to go. It was looking like we were going out of the FA Cup and our treble hopes were going to be ended, but as Spurs give the ball away, it comes to Kelvin, who crosses the ball to the far post, and it is turned in by Ezekiel, the ever reliable Ezekiel. And I know I've mentioned it a few times, but I still find it baffling how, you know, there were quite a few of you, not everyone obviously, but quite a few of you who wanted me to sell Ezekiel when I first brought him in. I've never understood why, because he's always been a great striker. You can always rely on him, and he gets us the goal there to equalise and surely turn this game into a draw, which he of course did, and that was how the game would finish. So that means, as you saw Kelvin pull up there, very frustrating, he'll be out for 3 weeks. That does mean that we are going for a replay at White Hart Lane. Now, I don't usually get replays. Usually in the Cups it's either a winner or a loss. I never usually play replays, but obviously in the Capital One Cup you go straight to penalties, but sorry, extra time then penalties. But in the FA Cups I rarely ever get replays, but I've got one here. We'll be taking on Spurs at White Hart Lane. That'll actually be in the next episode, so look forward to that. But I'm really frustrated by it. What can I say? It's the main reason is obviously because you know, replays are, you know, they're okay, I guess. I don't mind playing replays, but it does mean that your first 11 are going to get shattered because it's in a really fixture congested month anyway, because you've got the Champions League, and of course you've got the league games being played too, and now you've got a replay to play as well. So it's like having 3 games or 4 games sometimes in a week, depending on what competitions you're in. It's very frustrating, but that's just one of those things, and we'll have to deal with it. But you saw there as well, a few players accepted the contracts we offered in the last episode, a few players declined them. I don't really care. Obviously they can't move anywhere now. We've basically finished all transfer business, and they can't move anywhere, so there you go, doesn't really bother me. And as well, you would have seen seen as well, Kelvin is indeed going to be injured for 3 weeks. That really sucks because Kelvin, ever since coming back to the Den, has been an absolute beast, even though he was a beast when we first signed him all those years ago in our second season of career mode. But it's very frustrating. We can live without him. We can live without him. We got the squad depth. Obviously, Sterling is now going to be a first 11 player in his absence, which is fine because he's been on good form this season. But it's still a shame regardless. But still, we take on Borussia Dortmund here for the second and final game of today's episode, away at the Signal Iduna Park, here in the Champions League round of 16, and the first chance fell here in the 3rd minute. Anthony Lopez, however you want to say his name, our new Portuguese goalkeeper, making his debut, I do believe, made a couple of really good saves there and kept the score at 0-0. So good goalkeeping by our Portuguese goalkeeper. We can obviously develop him for club and country, and he also deals with a follow-up header from the corner and then kicks the ball out really quickly to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who flicks it onto Danny Ings. It's a great chance here as Ings sprints past his man. Really good opportunity. He gets tugged back. I thought I should have been given a free kick there, but I'm glad I didn't. Because of that, Dortmund gave the ball away. It came to Ings, fake shotted round one, rouletted past another, offloaded it towards McCullough, who crossed it back into Danny Ings, and Ings makes it Dortmund 0, Millwall 1 with 6.5 minutes on the clock. So Ings gives us the perfect start here away in Germany. It's a good header by our striker. And I'm very, very pleased with that because it was, the breakaway was nice. I genuinely felt as though we should have been given a free kick. We weren't given one, but I'm glad we didn't because we made them pay after they gave the ball away. Ings went down the right-hand side, McCullough crossed it in, and it's a really nice header by Dan Ings as well. The goalkeeper is rooted to the spot as he leapt like a salmon and put it into the top corner. So it's Dortmund 0, Millwall 1. We have that away goal, and I'm very pleased because, again, I'll say it before, I've said it about 65,000 times already. The away goals, in my opinion, in Europe are so important. So very pleased to get an early away goal. In the 27th minute, Dortmund almost responded there with that header, but thankfully it went wide. And in the 39th minute, you see Kevin Bartley collect the ball and play a great crossfield ball towards João Cancelo, playing right back here. He turns his man with a fake shot, keeps on going. Lovely piece of agility by Cancelo. He ends up fizzing in a cross, but I tell you what, that is one of the flukiest goals I have ever scored in career mode, and it happened so fast I didn't even know how the ball ended up going into the back of the net as the Dortmund crowd are silenced. But if you watch this on the replay here, as I'm using a leather ball in this game because YOLO, as I fizz in across there, it actually catches the goalkeeper out of the near post. I tried to play it into the 6-yard box, instead it went towards the near post, and the goalkeeper, Oblak, ended up just parrying it and just patting the ball into his own net, and that is just, it's diabolical goalkeeping as I caught him out of the near post. He should have saved it, yes, but it is so fluky. It's not what I wanted to do. I'd like to sit here and tell you it was a skillful shot. It was actually a shot and not a cross, but the reality is it was a cross, but I completely messed it up. Yet instead it somehow found the back of the net. So Dortmund 0, Millwall 2. We now got 2 away goals, a rare goal for our right back João Cancelo, and it was just in really fluky terms. But in the second half, as Dortmund get the ball away, we go on the break. Some nice passing releases Oxlade-Chamberlain, who Ronaldo chops around Gunter and finds the back of the net. So Dortmund 0, Millwall 3. We are on fire in this game. It's the perfect start to the second half. Dortmund would have wanted to come out of the blocks in the second half after conceding two goals in the first half. They would have liked to have responded early on. Instead, it's us who respond early on by getting a 3rd goal, and there's no way back for Dortmund now. You know, this game is over, and this tie is seemingly over as well, as Anderson, a former Dortmund player on loan this season, almost made it 4-0 here. It was still 3-0, and in the 85th minute, Dortmund did come forward again, but to get the ball away here, it comes to Serge Gnabry, who strikes it on the volley, but Anthony Lopez has it covered, and it goes behind for a goal kick. So still 3-0 here away in Germany, and just not conceding the goal is our aim now because we've got 3 away goals. You can't see Dortmund scoring 3 goals at the Den, but they did come forward here and almost make it 3-1, but it's a great save by Lopez. He tips it onto the bar and keeps it at 3-0. So Lopez having a really good game despite only having a few shots to deal with. Those shots were quite powerful. He's doing quite well, so he kept the score at 3-0, and from that we broke again. McCullough goes down the left-hand side. He keeps on going. Wonderful run by McCullough. He's got the pace. He stops the ball, drags it back, crosses the ball into the centre, and Danny Ings makes it 4-0. And I have to say, you know, Jan Oblak is a really decent goalkeeper. We all know that. Very, very young and talented goalkeeper in European football. But I tell you what, he was having a mare. Seriously, if he you know, he should have saved a Cancelo cross that turned into a shot. And let's be honest, he should have saved that as well. I mean, I don't know where he was diving to, but it wasn't anywhere near the ball. So it's Dortmund 0, Millwall 4. They did unfortunately get themselves a consolation goal. Lewandowski crossed it into Serge Gnabry. You'd imagine it should be the other way around. round, but still Gnabry did make it 4-1, so very disappointed Lopez's clean sheet went, but even so, we won the game by 4-1, and it does mean that Dortmund, I don't know why the fans are celebrating, Jesus, they just saw their team get battered 4-1, I don't know why they're celebrating, but it does mean that they'll have to score 4 goals at the Den because of the away goal ruling. They'll have to score a minimum of 4 goals, and yeah, I can't see it happening, so we should already be through to the next round of the Champions League after just one leg. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.